What's up, guys? I wanted to do a video about sparring today and trying to toughen up certain people in the gym. A lot of kids come and they want to fight. They want to get better. They want to be a martial artist. They may not have a goal of being a UFC fighter or some big kickboxer or anything, but they want to take fights. They want to be a martial artist. They want to say they fought, and it's just, it's going to be amazing, even if that's all they ever do. The fact that, let's say they have 3 fights, they can tell their grandkids, I had fights, and show them the footage and everything. And, it's just, being a martial artist at any level is just amazing, guys. But the video is about being mean, guys, and having pride in what you do. I think a lot of, this is something the real hardcore fighters, especially like the mean street kids, you see, this is something you don't have to teach them. It's a pride thing, guys. It's more a pride thing than it is being a tough thing, to be honest with you. So I do think people should have pride, and I think people should have pride, and I think people should have an ego in sparring, 100%. And you hear a lot of people saying, oh, don't have an ego, No, when I say don't have an ego, when people say that, they really should say, if you get mad, if you lose the round or getting beat in sparring, you shouldn't have an ego and get mad. But you should have an ego and want to win, period. You should want to win every round of sparring. That doesn't mean you're dirty and you're a shitty teammate, and let's say you're kickboxing and you do like I don't want you to do it. I don't think you should be doing knee stomps to a teammate because you're mad because they're punching you in the face. You should do whatever is ethical in sparring, but 100% and do it better than them and try to win the round, period. If you're wearing headgear and it's understood we're going to turn up and we're going to go hard, okay, then go hard. But I think that a lot of guys that come in and just want to be, casual martial artists, nothing wrong with that, guys. Like I said, being a martial artist at any level is hard work and is something that people should respect. But if you're just coming in casually, you still should have some pride, guys. You should have some pride, because a lot of it, like I have guys come and I see them and they're tough, but they're not mean. And I tell them, you got to get mean. And one way, I think the best way to make someone mean, and when I say mean is like they are tough. They're not sissies. Like you can beat up, they can get their ass whipped in sparring and they'll be fine. They're going to come back tomorrow. They're going to take it like a man, but they don't have that I want to hurt a person mentality. Like the street kids, you don't have to teach them. Like if it's almost like an ego pride thing from having a hard life and maybe getting picked on when you're like, I know growing up, I was very poor and I lived in a small town. And the thing about, growing up in a small town is everybody knows where you live. Like if you live in the city and you're poor, well, you may live, miles away from everyone else and they don't know where your house is at or how low income it is. When you grew up in a poor country town, everybody knows you're the poorest kid in town, So I was always very, argumentative and confrontational, and I didn't have issues, like that. I was mean. I had to learn how to be mean at a young age, and how to speak my mind, and have a lot of pride. And my end goal to that was having pride and being tough, being able to fight. And unfortunately, I turned it into a career and everything. But a lot of the street kids have been in a lot of street fights. They have pride. They tend to be more argumentative. They tend to be more confrontational. It's kind of something that's kind of had to be ingrained in them over their childhood and their upbringing, right? Depending on whatever neighborhood kids they hung out with that might be bullies or might be tough, and they may get into it with them or whatever the case may be. But they're hard by nature. They're hard by upbringing. Some guys aren't like that. Some guys are tough and they can do everything right. They're athletic, but they're not mean. They don't have I want to hurt a motherfucker mentality. So I really think a lot of guys need to spar hard. They need to spar hard, and they need to turn up. When someone goes hard, okay, let's go hard then. Turn up then. It's time to go, That's something I think that can help guys that just aren't mean, is they need to go hard and they need to really think about winning every round. They need to be like I said, don't be unethical. Don't do illegal shit. Don't elbow your partner in the face in sparring. Don't do anything that's beyond the rules of sparring. And there's certain ethics you should and shouldn't do. You should be able to round kick people hard as you want to the body or the head. Even to the head, you should be able to round kick people hard as long as you agree. Okay, let's go hard. If you're both agreeing upon it, you should be able to knock this person out. But with certain techniques, that's not going to injure them. You shouldn't be front kicking people in the face or elbowing them in the face in sparring. Unless you're wearing headgear and have elbow pads and everything's, already planned out ahead of time. Same thing with knees. You shouldn't be kneeing people, in the face or hard to the body without knee pads. If you have knee pads on, things are different. You can knee someone to the body a little bit if you wear some good sized knee pads. Shin guards, same thing. Round kicks, side kicks, all that. But don't do that stuff to the face. Don't do a side kick or a front kick to the face. There's ethics, but within those ethics and those rules of sparring, you need to turn up, guys. Some of you guys, you do have potential. You're tough. You're not a sissy. You work hard. You do things right. But sometimes you need to be a little mean. Like I said, the street fighter, the mean mentality guys, they don't have that issue. They grew up having to be like that. So they have a lot of, honestly, arrogant pride about it. It's a pride thing. But I don't care what anybody says. Don't have a pride. Don't have an ego in sparring. They're delusional. You need to have a pride and ego, and you need to have sparring. You need to have it in sparring. You need to have an ego in sparring. I remember me and my teammate Sadiq Youssef. He's like a brother to me. Every time we sparred, we would turn up. We'd go hard. If we could have knocked each other out, we would have knocked each other out. We were turning up. We were trying. We were trying to go hard. That's how we pushed each other. And he's killing it right now in the UFC, doing good. He's got a big fight coming up against Esteban Barboza, and that's my brother. I love Sadiq. He's my brother. I lived with him off and on for 5 years. But when we got on that mat to spark, boxing, kickboxing, and grappling, even we turned up. Well, like every one of us, neither one of us was ever trying to lose a round. Now, we would lose rounds, and we'd be mad if we did, but we didn't throw a fit like a 2-year-old. But next time, we'd be like, okay, it's on. We had pride, a lot of pride, guys. You need pride as a fighter because you're in a sport with nothing but alpha males. So whether you're at a lower level and you're at a lower level and you're trying to just win a couple smokers and retire and tell your grandkids you fought. Guess what? There's still someone out there that has a lot of pride and is going to fight to the death damn near, or their capability of death, basically, and go until they collapse to try to beat you. There's people out there. So if you run into that person, you need to be able to match that energy and be able to match that mentality. And obviously skills are the most important because there's plenty of people that aren't just mean dogs, but if the skill, especially in a grappling standpoint, guess what? If you're a college level wrestler, and you can take someone down. He could be the toughest boxer in the world. If you don't have the skills, you don't have the skills. But when you get both, even in grappling, when you get pride, pride is one thing that in your ego, in my opinion, in fighting can't help you. For sure, it can help you because you're going to fight harder. The kids with a lot of ego, a lot of pride, the ones that really believe in themselves and not fake delusional belief, but the ones who do believe in themselves, they have a lot of fucking pride, guys. They have a lot of pride. Their ego is huge in their mind. They're king dick anywhere they go, and they're going to walk around like the baddest person around, and they're going to carry themselves that way on that mat in sparring. And if they're not, then they're going to be, they're fake anyway. If they act like that in person, and then when they get on the mat, it's different. But just a quick video, guys. For you guys that are tough, there's a lot of tough guys out there, but they're not mean. You need to learn how to get mean. And my suggestion to you would be hard sparring. Go with somebody that has no problem going hard, that will go hard, that wants to win every round, and you take enough ass whippings. Eventually, you're the nail, and then eventually you become the hammer. That's just the way martial arts is. You start as a white belt, end up as a black belt. So keep working hard, guys, but get meaner. Some of you guys need to get meaner and get that ego and pride involved in your martial arts.